Hi, and welcome again to Savvy Singers TV show. I'm your host, Marlon Bailey, where we educate, empower, and entertain. And it's a privilege to be in your space. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the show, the experience. We want you to like, share, invite someone into the conversation. So we know that we have different types of diversity of expressions where we talk about the creatives, the arts, So we have that particular twist to things coming to the studio today. And when I speak of his name, you will understand what I'm talking about. So we want to take some time and invite to the studio, Bryant Henry. How are you going, bro?
I saw the technical guys already start to go crazy, right? And start to fix things. It's really good to be here with you guys today. It is a privilege and an honor. Thank you for the invitation. It's just a blessing to be here, and I look forward to the few moments we're going to spend together.
Definitely. Yes. I like that. You see what you do there? Everybody wants to know what's going on.
I don't see technical guys start to, what is happening here?
So Bryant is known for his mime ministry, yeah? I mean, it's explosive to see this gentleman do his thing and just recently being recognized at the GMAT Awards as well for your involvement and your input. So my first question to you, Bryant, is, the mime, how did it come about to you? Well, it stand out? Is it something that you were always interested in?
Mime actually started out, I had a friend of mine, since we were very young, we'd given our lives to Christ, and we had a passion for dancing. So even before mime, we were dancers, or what you would call scanters. What we call in Trinidad scanting, right. Like the whole wave thing, and joint up to your neck and all of that, right?
Everyone, right. Change around the studio and do all the things.
So we came out of that entire scanting, popping, locking kind of thing.
Right.
After that whole breakdance era. We weren't in it, but of course we used to look back at all of those old films, and then You Got Served came out.
Right.
Yeah, right. So that was a big time for us. And what we would do, we would go in church every Saturday, and we would literally dance from the morning straight down to we reaching church for 8 and 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We still in church, we dancing, spinning on your head, and maybe that's why I don't have, as much grains as other people do, But we would do all of that, We would spin anything that we can do to express dance and to express movement. We would do that, popping and locking. And one time, our youth leader, she came up to us and she saw the passion that we had for dance. And she said, why don't you take the same moves that you do and interpret the words of a song?
Wow.
And we said...
And it was like that?
That's an insane idea. Like, what could that... Where did you get that kind of crazy idea from? Like, we don't want to do that. Right? Yeah? We can't do that. These moves, these things can't... They can't interpret any kind of lyrics for a song. So we pushed aside the idea, and she stuck with us.
Right.
That's Sandra Swift, our youth president at a point in time. And after a while, we said, here what? We're going to try this thing.
Give it a try.
So we tried it. And when we attempted this thing, the first song we did, if I remember correctly, was Real by Broadway Boys. I don't know if you know that song.
Oh, okay.
Father, help me to be right. You had to get a singing for the savvy singers, yeah? Right?
The man is up to scratch.
So that was the first song that we did. And when we did it for the first time, I and my partner, we doing it and we choreographing. And even between ourselves, we realized, like, hey, this thing actually looking like something, but the pride, because we just told her, hey, this thing can't work. And secondly, Real is a slow song, and we are custom dancing to,
Swift.
To uptime. You Got Served. I mean, we just finished what You Got Served.
So
we
hype to go.
Practicing moves, and then you come with Father, help me to be real. Yeah.
So
we told our youth leader initially that it wouldn't work because we dance we don't dance to that tempo, that slow.
Okay. So she had chose the song?
No, we chose the song.
Okay.
We chose the song. But it started to work out. And we were like, hey, let's do this. And then a time came where we had to present the ministry, and we presented the ministry in church for the first time. And it was, people were blown away.
Correct.
People were blown away that this art form could be used to interpret the words of the gospel and to help people and to uplift people. Because when you think about popping and locking and that kind of thing back in those days, you just think, well, you do it for fun. But we use those same things to share the message of the gospel to people, to encourage people, to uplift people.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of the journey. Wow. And it has just transitioned over the years.
Yes.
That started way back in 2000 and sometime between the year 2000 and 2005.
Yes.
We transitioned between dance. I started dancing in 1999 and started mime in the year 2005.
Yes.
So it's about 16 years now.
Wow.
Down the road, down the journey, and it's been an amazing ride.
Amazing, right? And you stuck with it since then.
Yeah.
You know, and continue to improve the art form. What is it like in the, you know, training, preparing, keeping your physical intact? Because I see those moves and those spins, and not the average person can come and try to do these things. You understand? So what is it in the life of preparing a piece?
Yeah. Truthfully, bro, it is mime is an intensive sport.
Yeah, boy.
So in saying that, it is a lifestyle because you have to always, like I constantly try to train. I don't get it right all the time, but at least once a week I do go running, and I do some kind of, you know, at most 2 to 3 times for the week. But at least once a week I try to get in some form of physical activity, where I run, I go walk up the hills, Chancellor is my friend, Mount Hololo is my friend, you know, all of those places. Those things help, and even training at home. So I have to keep myself physically prepared, because the reality is at any point in time you could be called upon to do ministry.
That's right.
And you can't be like, hey, let me go on, give me 2 weeks, let me just go
Try
on
and get something.
get some fitness, buy some fitness in the hard way, right? It doesn't work like that. So it's really a lifestyle, a staying prepared.
That's right.
And of course, practicing at home as well to make sure that you're sharp and that you're ready for ministry at any point in time. And that's just on the physical side.
Nice.
You know, the spiritual side is basically your relationship with God.
That's right.
And that is constant.
And the interpretation, you know, I see the message whenever I see you perform. I see your heart. It's not just doing something, you know, because this is what you like to do, but connecting. I see the responses of the people, you know, when you set foot on the stage and Bryant Henry hides behind the message, you know, that is there to relay at that particular point in time. So like your selection of songs and different things, how does that go? It's just what is relevant, what is...
So for me, I believe I have a word over my ministry. When I say a word in the sense of a theme. And I guess every minister usually has even if they look back at the catalog of songs that they might have sung or might have mimed before, you realize that you have a particular theme. Either you lean into warfare, you lean into worship, you lean into praise, you lean into encouragement. And for me, it has always been encouragement, hope, salvation. So most of my pieces would kind of lean in that direction. Yes. I would actually kind of start this. When I hear a song, I do not minister songs that don't minister to me.
Yeah, it has to connect.
It has to minister to me. Otherwise, I cannot minister the song. I cannot do the song effectively because it has not impacted and it has not touched me. The flip side of that is that I cannot minister a song if I just ministered to me, because I would not be able to finish the piece. I would break down on it. In the middle of the piece, because like, you know, the Lord's still doing His thing in me through the song. So it really comes with the Lord ministering the song to my heart, and going through that season of the song ministering to me, and then I am able to start practicing it and delivering it.
Awesome stuff.
As the Lord would have used it through me. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the mime ministry that, you know, the creatives, the performance, different expressions. And you may know someone who's like, yes, that is what John does do. So call him up right now and tell him to tune in to PRV and Performing Arts Academy, where we have one who's very learned in the area, professional, and say we get some tips, you know, and going inside. So Bryant, fast track to that, you know, you also have the mime ministry,
Yes.
the school, where you actually now settle in yourself that this is something for me, but now I want to impact other persons.
That's right.
And teach other persons to do the same. I want to duplicate
That's right.
what God has given to me to other persons. So when did that transition happen?
That transition happened, I guess, just out of people reaching out to me and saying, hey, you know, I want to learn.
Right.
I see myself doing this ministry as well. And it's amazing how God is able to touch the hearts of individuals all over the country, even the Caribbean, to even reach out to you to say, you know, I dream myself, I see myself doing what you do, and I want to learn it myself because I feel that it is something, a gifting that the Lord has placed inside of me.
Right.
So out of that, and even out of myself attending conferences and attending training seminars and traveling to learn about my ministry,
Oh, I love that.
you make connections with people, and when you come back now, you're so filled, you have to share, you have so much to share.
Right.
So people would reach out to me, and of course, that was the inception of the classes as we know it, of the workshops, of the summits, of the, you know, there's been so much happening over the years.
Yes.
And it's just something that I'm passionate about, training, teaching, developing people. To the point now where some of the guys who I mentor, they have their own schools as well. And that's something that I'm very
That's
proud
good,
of.
man.
I'm proud of those guys.
Yes,
Nicholas, they're doing their own schools. They have their own training schools. Lyndon Bonnet, he just finished his BSc in dance from the team as well. So it has been an awesome journey, and it continues because I continue to learn and I continue to teach.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So even in the teaching, tell us one of you. You know, sometimes we have people who have a passion, right? That have a passion for it, but sometimes it's not a fit. You know, they see something they like. Did you ever have those kind of experiences where you tell somebody, you know, bro, but, you know, let me redirect you, you know, that kind of thing? Or is it that you could just take raw material and just work
I
it?
believe, and I guess it works similarly for singers.
Yep.
There is a certain extent to which you can develop someone, but because we all know there are people who have raw talent and raw God-given abilities who, I mean, some people I look at and I'm like, bro, you didn't even have to work for this, you know, like, did you attend singing? No, I never went to singing class in my life, right?
No, for real?
For real, yeah. We know about those people, and in the same way, there are ministers of mime who are just gifted. But you would see people who they have this passion for it, and they come to the classes and you teach them and they train them. And sometimes it might be an elderly person who is unable to move as quickly or to move as, isn't as flexible as, you know, they are needed to be for the art form. But we still help and develop them because a lot of people want to do the ministry just to express themselves to God.
That's it.
And I can't stop your praise, you know. I don't want to be a hindrance between you and God from stopping your self-expression between you and God. And I train people, I teach people with all my heart because I want people to give God praise. And that's what it's all about.
Definitely, the purpose behind it. You know, so right now I want you to give us some of your handles where persons could connect with you saying, okay, this is something that I would like to do, get some more information. So, you know, you could speak to your camera and just let some person know where we could find you. Bro.
So you can find me on YouTube at Bryant Henry Mime Ministry. Same thing on Facebook, Bryant Henry Mime Ministry. You can find me at those two handles, and also on Instagram at Bryant Henry Mime.
Nice. Bryant Henry
That's
Mime.
BRYANTHENRY Mime Ministry. MIME, yes.
Definitely. Thank you so much, bro. And, even, the whole saying that a gift will make room for you.
Yeah.
Tell us some of the opportunities that came out of your passion for mime, that you wasn't even thinking about, you just doing, what you do.
It is the craziest thing sometimes. Like they're across basically all denominations.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The people that would reach out to you and make contacts. I mean, I've ministered with almost all the major gospel artists and
Yes.
done solos with them. Well, duets, that would be, across Trinidad and Tobago.
Been on a lot of big stages.
Yeah, and I mean, just some crazy things. Like I remember there was one time somebody called me like literally the night before and said, "Hey, bro, we need you to teach at this youth camp in I think it was St. Vincent, one of those countries. I really can't remember now, one of those countries of the islands." And like, yeah, we have your ticket already. I'm like, you can't have my ticket already because I don't know about this, right?
And
You
they're ready
have
for
my
you to
information.
get
Yeah,
there.
we have your information.
Whoa.
And the flight is in the morning. I'm like, crazy, no.
Yeah,
Right?
bro, that's it.
But I went and it was really a blessing.
Yeah.
I think it was a Anglican youth camp. Literally hundreds of young people there at this
Wow.
camp, and it was crazy. But
Being
those are the doors that
inspired.
God opens, and is always a blessing to serve and to give and to share what the Lord has deposited within me. So wherever the Lord bids, I will go.
Yes, definitely. Because, the show is Savvy Singers TV, and normally the first place persons go is singing,
Yeah.
right? And I love the fact that, we open the doors as creatives, like yourself, different thing, dance, we have poetry, spoken word, the singing, so many different expressions of worship, so many expressions where you could impact others and share your gift. We are in the pandemic.
Yeah.
COVID hit. Yeah. And how has that affected, or did it not affect the advancement of the ministry and the school? And what changes you had to adopt?
Definitely, there are some changes that we had to adopt because I would have, of course, physical classes where you would come, just like everyone else, you come to the classroom and you learn. But even ministry-wise, what has happened is that people would still request ministry. I would either videotape it, record it, or I would do it live from my little studio space at home as well.
Right.
I would do that. So it has changed. Normally what would happen is that somebody would call for ministry and we would take the whole team. Right? Okay, guys, 10 of us coming up and we're going to do ministry.
Wow.
Because it is a ministry team as well. It is a team as well of guys that I mentor who I personally disciple, so they stay with me and they go out to do ministry.
You share the space for them.
Yes, yeah. So, and that has changed. We miss going out to do ministry as a team with the numbers of 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. And usually now when somebody calls, we just, they do ministry, of course, from their personal space.
Yeah, so it's
just
select
one
who will
person
do it.
Who will do it, yes, yes.
And
So
just bring it up.
it has definitely changed,
Change.
but
Get them back to it.
we adjusted, and God still gets the glory.
Definitely. Okay. So how does it in the life of being relevant with technique?
Yeah.
Because I believe technique changes, the styles changes.
Yeah.
Is it something that you constantly have to be seeking and looking and training, seeing what's out there and what is, as we call it, what is popping?
Yeah.
And popular.
A good mime is a good observer. So a lot of training for mime, I tell people, is just observing people. Just go in a public space and observe how people do things. Observe how people stretch out their hands to open
Serious.
doors. Observe how people stop taxis. And that's the reality, all of us mime. We just don't consider it mime. Stopping a taxi is mime, right?
Wow.
Nobody shout out to the taxi from way down the road, "Hey, you want to reach up here? You will stop right here by me," right?
Yeah.
Right? But no, we put out our hands, we hail the taxi man.
Yeah, short.
Right?
Good.
Which way? West. So,
Nice,
right?
nice,
We do all of
nice.
that on a daily basis. Remember when we were young and your parents upset you and they tell you, come out your room right now and come and wash these wares, right? And you ain't going to lose your mind and say, I don't, girl, you used to get me so upset, lady, right? We're not crazy. We're not insane, right? But sometimes we lose our mind a little bit and we stomp up and, and we grind our teeth and we show all of those expressions and gestures.
Right.
So we all mime every day. So it is really observing people, observing how people do things, because mime is a silent act. So you don't really speak when you're doing mime. So what you want to do is ideally mimic the action, so that when people see you doing this action, they are not confused. Your happy doesn't look like you're angry. Your happy doesn't look like you're sad. Like, you're sad will look like you have diarrhea. All of those things are important, When people see you do a particular action, they fully understand what is happening with clarity.
Nice. I like that. You just got a free tip there, guys. That is everyday expression and
you gotta observe. You have to observe.
I've never thought of that, but that's good stuff right there. So, we're coming close to the end of this segment. So, what is new? How do you see yourself moving in the next couple years, the Bryant Henry, because now you're married, looking to start a family, what's the plan?
There's actually a lot of plans. Training continues.
Yes.
For the last 5 years, we've been doing summits, international summits, where we've invited speakers from different countries to come down to teach and train all the people in Trinidad, Tobago and the Caribbean, whoever is interested. We have people from Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica, St. Kitts, all the islands, they come when we have the conference, and we spend a weekend, of course, so we can camp. Of course, it's different now. We can't, you can't have 150 people gathering at a camp,
that's
right? So it has changed a bit, but those are some of the things we want to continue. For now, we have to do it online. But that's the direction that we want to continue training and teaching people. Not just the art form, but we want to teach people to have the heart for God. We want to teach people why it is you do what you do. You want to teach people the foundations of my ministry, and it's not just hype and wildness and talent but it's and entertainment. But it has its role, but it is really delivering the gospel of Jesus Christ. You want to teach people the purpose. So those are some of the things we see ourselves continuing to focus on in the future. We want to raise up young ones as well, little mimes as they born and as they have that urge to dance. We want to train them from a young age. And we want God to use them mightily, because we believe that, as the Bible says, in these last days, the young ones, they're going to prophesy.
They will lead us.
We want them, and mime is a prophetic ministry. That's what it is.
Yes,
that is, and I guess the next day we can get into all of that, But that's what God used to use his mimes, his prophets. And I'm going to give you another free tip, right? Go check out Hosea chapter 12 and verse 10. And it says that God says, I have spoken to you through the prophets, and I have multiplied visions through you, and I have used similitudes through the ministry of the prophets. That word similitudes there in the Hebrew is a word called dama, D-A-M-A-H, and it literally means to act out.
Right.
So God used to send his prophets, Ezekiel, God used to send them into the city squares, and he used to have them stay silent. He told Ezekiel, hey, lie down on your left side for 390 days to bear the sins of Israel. Right down on here. The other side, right side, for 40 days to bear the sins of Judah. And each day represented a year. So that is what God would do. So that is what my ministry is. Mime is not something that the world had and the church went in and took it. But it was always in the heart and mind of God of communicating to stiff-necked people.
Right.
Back then,
like
we have to.
And we're doing the same thing today. I love it. I love it. I love it. And, the passion has led you. I know we're wrapping up, but the passion has led you even to the streets where you do your evangelism. And I say, but this guy, he's going out there on the street corner, using what you have to reach the lost and touch the lives in a quick couple seconds, the best you can. How was that for you?
That is, and
And the
here's thing.
responses?
The responses is always captivating.
Yes.
And we would always be most effective where the Lord has ordained us.
Right.
So my ministry, God used to send his prophets into the city squares, and it's the same thing we do. We go out on the cross in San Fernando, we go out in front of KFC, and literally you have taxi drivers pulling out their phones, and people run into taxi and they want to go, and the driver saying, "Hey, what happened? Take your time. You see something going on here?" Literally, those things happen. So because ministry, it really impacts people. There are a lot of hurting, broken people who need to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. And while they might ignore a preacher on a side corner, when they see the artistic ministry out in the open environment, it draws their attention. And it causes them to focus for just those moments to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ reaching their lives. We've had testimonies upon testimonies, and God has used this art form to be a blessing to the nation, to the region, and even the wider world.
Thank you so much, Brian Henley, for stopping in, giving us the insight, sharing your story, encouraging someone to go out there. Use your uniqueness. Don't just follow the trends, you know. Tap into what your gift, you know, Alvin Soto once saying, what's that you have in your hand? I can use it. So God can use whatever you have in your hand. Again today, thank you so much for taking some time to be here, the Savvy Singers TV show. I'm your boy, your host, Marlon Bailey. Thanking you for coming in with us. Thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure.
Definitely. And again, I want to remind you, the only person that can prevent you from stopping you from achieving all your goals and dreams is you. So keep your head up, keep the faith, keep fighting for a purpose. Love you. See you again.